Going through the most and least expensive films for different franchises. Part 4. So, I want to do the 10th highest grossing franchise of all time is Mission Impossible. So, the most expensive Mission Impossible movie by a mile, by 100 million, 110 million actually, is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, the most recent installment, costing $400 million. This is the reason why it's a flop. Anyway, the least expensive Mission Impossible movie, by a mile, is Mission Impossible, costing only $80 million. Yeah. Mission Impossible ended up grossing $450 million, spawning all the sequels. It's the only one to have a budget below $100 million. Well, The Final Reckoning grossed just barely under $600 million, which would mean maybe $200 to $200 million flop. Loss. Then, number 17, Pirates of the Caribbean. One of the franchises on this list, one of the few franchises on this list that I've mentioned that I've actually watched every film in. Yeah, I've seen all 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So the most expensive Pirates of the Caribbean movie, by quite a bit, is Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger's Tides, costing $380 million. Actually, at the time of release, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger's Tides was the most expensive movie ever. At the time of release. It released in 2011. But then 4 years later, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, I think second place is at World's End, costing $300 million. The least expensive Pirates of the... But on Stranger's Tides made $1 billion back. So, yeah. And the second highest grossing film of the franchise. The least expensive film was Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, costing about $140 million total. It's crazy to think that we got from $140 million all the way to $380 million. It's kind of crazy to think about. It's interesting because my least favorite is the most expensive, and my favorite is the least expensive. It's weird. Then the 18th highest grossing film franchise is Shrek. So the most expensive Shrek movie is Shrek Forever After. Shrek Forever After cost $165 million. However, it's very hated on, and it made $750 million back. Original, costing only $60 million. Shrek ended up grossing just under $500 million, and fun fact, Shrek was the first movie to win the Best Animated Feature Oscar. Yeah, it started in 2002, so there's been 23 winners. And it's August 23rd today. Weird. So, number 19, The Lion King. I'm honestly surprised it's already this high. I don't even know if the list included Mufasa. I think they just include a bunch of... I don't know, maybe they did. So, the most expensive Lion King movie is and this is talking about the three big Lion King movies. Lion King 2019, Lion King 1994, and Lion King and Mufasa. The most expensive is The Lion King from 2019, costing $260 million. Now, I know a lot of people call this an animated movie, but if it was an animated movie, it's not. It's a live-action remake. Then it would be among the most expensive, but it's not. The most expensive animated movie is Tangled, with about the same budget. The least expensive Lion King movie, and I mean, at this point, it's just Mufasa or Lion King 1994, is The Lion King from 1994, costing only $45 million. I think probably because it was in the 1990s. I mean, inflation would probably cause it to go crazy. And then lastly, the final franchise on this list, Twilight. So the most... Man, what was Robert Pattinson? It's kind of strange. Anyway, I'm so sorry, Robert Pattinson. This franchise had to give you such bad reputation. So the most expensive Twilight movie is Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. I just did this for space. That is Twilight Part 5. I think it's also the highest grossing Twilight movie. I don't know if it was actually the highest grossing, but it was able to dethrone Skyfall, so that's a big thing. Good old Skyfall. Anyway, so actually I misspelled this. This should be $37 million. But the least expensive Twilight movie is Twilight, costing $37 million. This is also the lowest grossing just barely above $400 million. Yeah. I think Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2 is the highest rated, just still bad scored. That'll be all for today's video. Drop down in the comments other Other examples you can think of. I'll be next time I do this. I'll be doing the 21st through 25th highest grossing franchises. Check out my channel for more content like this, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.